Well, here we go, the Hunting Landman Podcast, episode 24, and I know it's 24 because I actually looked at it. We got Ryan Wascom here with us. Ryan has been on the show before, and what better time to do a Missouri Project number 3, an update, as we're going to get on a plane, and Ryan's sitting on go. Ryan, how long we ain't got long to get to the airport?
We don't have very long at all. Slay said we got 20 minutes. We can knock it out.
Right, the airline emailed me and said the flight was going to be late. I said, perfect, we'll knock this out. Well, we got cameraman Caleb behind the camera over there, and then we got new Ryan uploading episodes. The real estate market is hot. Before I get too far, Southern Ag Credit, always our title sponsor of the show. They've also sponsored Hunting Landman TV. They're a title sponsor, and we appreciate them for that. Ryan is envying Caleb and I's new hats. Alex, you gotta step it up.
You would think I'd get one.
You'd think as much money as we borrow from them.
I know it.
Well, we're gonna give an update of where we're at on the Missouri project. We're in kind of a hurry, as you can hear. Missouri Project number 3 update, and I'm gonna let Ryan start us. Ryan, real fast, tell us. Okay, we started when, what we bought, and where we're at today.
So we started, what was that, 2020? Bought the 213, and then we rolled over to Walnut Hills, and that was a 360 there, and we've got it under contract, and we're moving forward now. We're going to look at a 160 that we have under contract. We gave 10 days to view it, so that's actually where we're headed right now to check it out.
Turn both of our mics up right there on the end there, Caleb, just a touch. All right. See, we're unconventional here. We just talk about stuff. Ain't no big deal. Yeah, so that's what Ryan and I are doing. We bought the 213 in Missouri. We're expecting this to go a lot slower. We bought that 213 in Sullivan County. We didn't realize we were buying in this guerrilla market that happened over the past 2 years. So our 2 to 3 year project turned into 5 months.
That's correct.
And then I guess our next 2 to 3 year project, Walnut Hills, turned into a year.
Exactly a year.
And we sold it in 2 pieces. So we sold the lodge in 280 acres, and then we sold the 80 acres across the road. That one, Ryan, I can speak for both of us, a little bittersweet.
It is. I hate to see it go, but, the end goal, we'll get there.
Yeah, and me and Ryan have both said it several times. When we get to where we need to be, if Walnut Hills comes back up for sale, we may own it again.
That's absolutely correct.
Because it is a fine track, pound for pound. I think we had 14 shooters over 4-year-old on camera last year. And that doesn't happen normally.
No.
Really, really good farm. If we would have sent anybody other than Bear Cub up there to shed hunt, we probably would have found a lot of sheds.
Yeah, I went and walked around for, 20 minutes the last day, found 2 sheds.
Yep.
Yeah, just out in the middle of a food plot that he missed.
You can't trust them boys up there. Well, so like Ryan said, so we got Walnut Hills under contract. We bought a 198 last year over, that one's in Putnam County. Got that one is a kind of a project farm. We got to do a lot of improvements, tear down some old buildings. We've got to do some cleanup. I actually just saw that farm on our recent turkey hunting trip up there for the first time. So much potential. It just needs a good bit of TLC. So the way we normally do it up there, either on all the farms we bought thus far, either Ryan or I have not seen it. Usually, like the first one, Ryan did not see. The 198 I did not see.
Yeah.
Walnut Hills I did not see, but my dad had seen.
He's seen it.
So we're somebody's looking at them on this trip. Both of us are going to put our eyes on. We got a 160 under contract in Lynn County, really good county up there, and we're going to look at it. It's kind of a project farm, needs some cleanup. Looks like a jam-up farm that Bear Cub has hooked us up with. So we're flying up to Missouri, where Bear Cub is supposed to be picking us up at 7 tonight. We're going to stay at Walnut Hills, maybe eat at our favorite Mexican restaurant one last time while we're up there.
Go see old Victor.
See old Victor up there at the Mexican place. Get us a jalapeno special.
Some
kind of special.
Just tell them the special.
That's right. And anyway, we're gonna wake up, get a couple of things from the farm, and then go look at the 160. And then our buddies Jason and Andy up there have got us several other farms we're gonna go look at. A couple pretty excited about up there. And every time we go up there hunting or real estate, or we're constantly learning about these counties and what we can do to be better buyers of land, and our end goal, just to get you update. Ryan, I'll let you take that. tell everybody where we're at, short-term end goal, and then long-term end goal.
Well, I mean, right now is just to keep building acreage. And then at the end, whether it be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, wherever we're at, we want to have a really good farm with income coming in on it to really help us out to keep building acreage. So once we find us a place to keep that is basically cash flow, that's where we need to be.
Yeah, so and this is a good topic because Ryan and I, when we started out doing this, we didn't put like a whole lot of money in this.
We did
We
not.
put a whole lot of Southern Ag Credits money in it, and a lot of faith.
Yeah.
So I just and you can do it in Missouri, you can do it in Mississippi, you can do it in Louisiana, you can do it in Iowa, wherever. You can do this wherever. Get your niche where you want to buy property. What Ryan and I have hunted up in this area, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years, off and on. So we knew the area. We got comfortable. We started following all the agents up their social media pages. We got on their email list. We started paying attention on Land Watch and third-party websites about what's for sale up there. And we got comfortable, and we started buying property up there. Now, we're doing, we're hopefully going to do very good financially, or at least that's the plan up there. But this is a fun project, too. And, no matter if we end up with 100 acres or 100,000 acres, if we have a good bit of fun to it, there's some value in that for us.
That's exactly right.
It's a lot funner than trading stocks for us.
It is.
And it's all we talk about this stuff every day in our plans. And our, like Ryan said, our short-term goal is to get us a property, a home base with a camp that we can cash flow, because we got some equipment up there now. We've got tractor, bush hog, sprayer,
Yeah, we got
sprayer, planter.
Sprayer's staying.
And anyway, there's another story behind Ryan's sprayer he bought up there. Anyway, but we want a home base that cash flows from either a CRP or a farm rent income. And then we just want to keep building properties with what we've learned up there. Film an episode, documenting the whole process like we're doing with the podcast and with the video. Speaking of the video, we just got back, I guess, 2.5 weeks ago from our Missouri-Iowa turkey trip. We got Bear Cub, cameraman Caleb's first big turkey hunting trip with us. And funny story, so we took separate trucks, and on the way up there, I caught a little stomach bug. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I thought it was some Garth Brooks concert the night before, but I had a couple beers all day. It was nothing like nothing.
Right.
But I said, it must be that. It's got to be what it is. And come to find out, my kids had it too. It was a little stomach flu, and it was the worst trip to Missouri of all time.
Oh yeah, I didn't think you were going to hunt the first morning. Well, I knew you would go. I just didn't know how good you were going to be, but I put you right there where you need to be.
Right, look. So this is how bad it was, and everybody knows how much I love turkey hunting. When we got there, I crawled up on the couch in a fetal position. I didn't care if there was a turkey or a gorilla outside the camp.
That's exactly right.
And Ryan went, and he came back. We looked at the maps. He had, 2 roosted right here at the highball.
Yeah.
And the next morning at daylight, cameraman Caleb...
Before daylight.
Yeah.
Way before daylight.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah.
We hadn't sat down. I'm going to go with 90 seconds.
At the most.
And the 2, if you're watching right now, I'm quotation marks, the 2 turkeys, they go to hammering.
And they're how close?
I'm going to say those are 65 yards.
They were way too close.
Yeah. Okay, those are the first 2. And then, so... Ryan didn't know this at the time, but I was still in very much of a fog. I was probably 40% better than I was, but I knew I wasn't sharp. So I just kind of kept my head down. I didn't want to mess anything up. Ryan was calling and kind of calling the shots. So I knew all I had to do was not mess anything up and shoot the turkey. So Bear Cub and I was on the gun first. And I kind of looked over at Ryan mid-morning, and I held up my hand like real slow. And I held up 3, and he kind of nodded his head. And there was so many gobbling, couldn't tell. And then one gobbled, and I kind of looked around to make sure everyone realized that this was not one of the turkeys that had been gobbling. No. When he gobbled, like my hat came off my head a little bit.
The leaves come up when he landed, that's for sure.
And then I started hearing him drumming in a tree. Yeah. Anyway, turkeys went to flying down, and I've never been this close to one. I thought the turkey almost hit Ryan when he flew down.
He was close.
I mean, it wasn't like you just heard the wings. I heard...
Yeah.
I mean, I heard his feet.
When his feet hit the ground, you know you're close.
And he was so close, he kind of went to clucking or whatever, but turkeys didn't know what was going on. anyway, I start seeing turkeys out of the corner of my eye, the other turkeys, and they come in there, and me and Bear Cub roasted them. But we ended up having 5 within 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, it was a good ridge.
It was a good ridge and a good way to start off our hunt there at Walnut Hills. We're going to go through this pretty fast because I know we got to go here in just a little while. But, after that, Ryan, tell them what our problem was after that. We had 2 problems. Weather and...
The weather, and then, I don't know.
Well, the educated turkey.
Which one?
All of them in general.
Oh, yeah. Every time you drive by a field, they take off running. And out in the middle of nowhere, like they shouldn't be running off like that, and then you dragging Bear Cub around, and everything's just negative. And
everything's negative. I'm glad that we had more than just... Usually it's either Ryan and Bear Cub or me and Bear Cub, so you don't have anybody else to bounce positivity off of. So you end up having... We didn't have any breakdown in the woods because he was outnumbered the whole time.
I know it.
Our positive mood outweighed his negative mood, but he got his limit of turkeys in Missouri and Iowa, thankfully.
I hate to put this on him, but, last year he killed 1 turkey, and he was with me when he killed
on the 213.
On the 213. And then this year he killed his limit in Missouri, and he was with us. Mm-hmm. So as Slade said, he said, you should just quit hunting and wait till we come up here.
Just quit hunting. And I think the year before, the ones I called up for him in Missouri and the one I called up for him here in Mississippi was the only one he killed.
That's it.
We love you, Bear Cub.
Yeah.
This show is about facts.
That's it.
It's was Andy Versella's show is Real AF. This is just real facts here about Bear Cub's turkey hunting. But make sure you tag him in when you post this. But we had a great hunt. There was more turkeys up there than I've seen since I've been hunting up there.
I read a lot of stuff, and it talks about the turkey population declining. That was the most turkeys that I've seen there in the last 5 years.
Yes, I would definitely agree. It was several big groups, and it was a lot of jakes, so we felt like the big turkeys were grouped up because of the amount of jakes, which added another, it was just a little harder because you were dealing with multiple birds. And
anytime you got to fight jakes, it's aggravating. Because
it's a good and bad problem.
It is. It's good for the following year, but, turkeys, the bigger turkeys, they'll quit gobbling. Mm-hmm. They won't gobble at all, and just makes it tough. And then, just like I told you up there, you see a jake or you call a jake in, you think it's. This
is a really good point. Y'all listen up.
So, you'll call a turkey a gobble. They sound like it may be a jake, maybe a gobbler, but after you call a jake in, it's like each time you do, it's like, is that a jake or what? Never let your guard down. Always be prepared, and it happens all the time. I've done it myself. I know plenty of turkey hunters have done it. You think it's a jake, and then all of a sudden a big long beard catch you off guard, and you'll ruin it. So
that's right. And that actually, happened on the last turkey I killed up there. The best turkey I've ever killed in Iowa, inch 11/16 spur, which is a dang giant. And look, when I called, it was literally, we were getting in the truck and he gobbled. I called a gobble, and then a jake yelped at me, and I said, "Oh, it's just a bunch of jakes." And when that big sucker stood up on that hill, I said it way too loud because I was shocked. I told Caleb, I said, "I see him."
Yeah.
And that big 33-inch fan on him, when he come, it wasn't no jake.
No, no jake about him. So I got to get you that license plate that I seen going down the road.
What does it say?
It says Shanks 1.
That's right. I'll go show you. I started to bring it in here and just have it sitting here for the podcast, but it kind of stinks a little bit because it's drying out, so I didn't.
It's a fine turkey.
Speaking of that hunt, Caleb's been posting some reels about our hunt and things like that. And, Ryan and I, we love turkey hunting more than the rest of it. And there's nothing we like more than sitting down and yelping at a gobbler and him coming up to us. But at the end of the day, when we leave here, it's different here. It is different here. But when we go off somewhere, we're going killing. We're going to get even.
We're going to get them.
And I've actually, if you hadn't seen it, Ryan, he posted me crawling up on one, and I've been getting some, it's a big topic in turkey hunting right now, fanning turkeys or whatever. And look, I'm not a huge fan. I've done it. Yeah. Y'all, if you've not, have had some of the more popular crawls that they've ever done, and it is fun.
It is. It's fun.
And first of all, if you've never done it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No, it is. And
I'm going to say 30% of the time.
I'm starting to think now that it's even worse. I mean, I don't know. I probably tried like 4 different times up there in Iowa,
Right.
and it didn't work the first time.
Right.
Not the first time.
Well, it worked one time.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it worked one time. So I say that to say this. Ryan and I are the first ones that want to yelp them up. But at the end of the day, we were hunting extremely educated turkeys. Like, they felt like we were hunting them in a Homewood National Forest. And there was plenty of them. And look, I go up there to fill my tags. That's no disrespect to the turkey. There were plenty of them. I go up there to fill my tags. We were doing everything legal. 2 of them, me and Ryan killed. It was actually, we didn't even try to crawl them. Ryan looked up over hill, saw some, thought they saw him, looked up behind the fan, and they come running, and 2 of them met their maker.
That's exactly right.
But, my deal is with all that, if you don't like hunting over decoys, don't hunt over decoys. If you don't like hunting with a fan or whatever, me personally, I think if you're hunting them over decoys in a blind, I'm like, that's just not the way we hunt down south. If you want to do that, if that's how you get your thrill, amen. I would love to yelp one up to 10 yards sitting over a decoy, and I want him to be fooled until them number 9s go through his head. That's my favorite way. Right. But that don't, we've got a friend of ours that absolutely loves crawling them. Yep. And if that's how he gets his thrill and it's legal, amen, whatever. Be respectful of the populations in your area, and that's a big thing. Are we hurting the populations? I think hunters are this much the problem with turkeys. I think that habitat and the predators and things like that. I think that's the biggest. And that's a whole different podcast. Right. But anyway, we had a great turkey hunting trip. We killed 9 in 5 days with 3 days of bad weather. The last day the sunshine came out and we killed 4.
Killed 4 that day.
Right. So, and we killed some on some public ground. We could have killed 2 more on public ground, but we were trying to get good video.
I know it.
Actually, talking about how educated the turkey was, when we went on public ground, they were way easier to kill.
They were that.
They were way easier to kill.
I took y'all to the hot spot.
I did. It was so funny. Ryan dropped a pin on some public last year.
Yeah.
And sent it to me, and he didn't have a tag. He just stopped by some, and he heard turkey gobble, and we went back up there, and we was in the exact same spot, and that turkey was waiting on Ryan.
He was sitting there
waiting on Cub.
Yeah, he was waiting on Cub, but we got there, just as soon as he called, he gobbled right there.
We found some gobbler tracks, and said, all right, let's call right here. Bah! And that, he was almost in gun range when he gobbled.
Yeah, when he gobbled. I don't know how he didn't see us walking in.
And then Bear Cub, of course, we had to coax him to get his shot because he had to do a little neeking up over a little brush pile.
Yeah, there was a brush pile. Because we just dropped down right there.
Literally just dropped down in the ditch.
Yeah, and he had to stand up, basically get up where he could shoot over this brush pile. And but he finally got it done, and then him and Caleb, they put on a track meet in there. Yeah,
had to get the turkey was that. Sometimes that muzzleloader don't hit quite as hard as them TSS.
A lot of people don't know that. If you don't draw a tag, if there's any tags left over, you can get a muzzleloader tag.
That's right.
And so anyway, he was using muzzleloader tag or a muzzleloader, and I don't think he hit him with everything.
No, he didn't get but a couple in him. Well, we've got to get to the airport. Ryan's done the $100 million question, and I already know the answer to Ryan's $100 million question. We get to buy bigger properties in Missouri if he wins $100 million, and he's going to buy a big piece of Soterra by his house.
Oh, yeah.
Or he may move to Iowa. Who knows?
We'll get the plane.
Yep, get the plane.
That way we can go back and forth.
Seriously in the conversation these days. And we're going in we could be going to get on our plane. But seriously, that's what we're going to do this trip. We're going to look at the 160 we have in Lynn County. Excited about that. Got a little camp. Going to be some good deer hunting. We got a couple other farms. When we sell Walnut Hill, the way the 1031 tax-free exchange works, we got to buy more than that 160 price-wise. So we got to go look at a couple farms. And, man, we couldn't be more blessed. This thing is growing faster than we could have ever imagined. And, man, it's fun doing it. But we've got to get to the airport. Cameraman Caleb's about to drop us off. He's going to be busy loading up his podcast, a couple other videos while we're going. But we're going to buy some property. I always end my videos, let's go sell some land. Well, right now, let's go buy some land.
We're going to buy some, that's for sure.
Well, y'all have a blessed day. Caleb, if you'll hit that blue button right there, and we headed out.